Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Round Chicken.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and the world champion Cardinals meeting for the first time this year. They had a strange series last year. St. Louis won 3 out of 4 here. The Dodgers went to St. Louis and won all 3, so they wound up winning the series from the Cardinals 4-3. Tonight, the Dodgers lead with Ted Lilly with a record of 5-0. Going back to last year, he's now won 8 in a row, and trying to be the first pitcher since Kaz Ishii to start off the Dodgers season going 6-0. Against him, a tough pitcher, Lance Lynn, with a record of 6-1. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up after this. The new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for $4.99 plus tax. By San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Play Lucky 7 Bingo. You could win $100,000. By Time Warner Cable. And by Columbia Pictures movie That's My Boy, starring Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, in theaters June 15th.
Hey, welcome back to Dodger Stadium. The start of 3 with the Redbirds and the Dodgers with Kenny Lofton and Steve Lyons, Patrick O'Neill. I've told you guys this before. When I'm going to a game, I want to know who's pitching and what the records are. Well, we have 2 first-place teams and 2 really good pitchers.
Yeah, both with great records. And I really think today this is going to be the toughest test for Ted Lilly, because when you face the teams that he's faced so far, he hasn't really faced any tough offenses. San Diego, Houston, Colorado, San Francisco. He got the 1-no decision of the year against the Atlanta Braves. They can hit. This team can hit a 284 team batting average from St. Louis, so it'll be a good test for him.
But then you got Lance Lynn coming in the game today. He's pitching 6-1 right now with a 1.81 ERA. But last year he was a reliever. At the end of the year he had 2 starts, and I think this is what it was helping him for this year, knowing that Carpenter is out. So someone has to step up as a starter, and he's doing that right now. He's pitching great.
Lynn's first appearance against the Dodgers. Lilly going for 9 straight. Look at Bailey, the LA Kings. Bailey throwing a strike. Kings going for the sweep and a trip to the final. Dodger baseball next.
Elantra is the 2012 North American Car of the Year. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By CarMax, start the search for your next car at CarMax. Start here. And by Dodge. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium as the Dodgers and the world champion St. Louis Cardinals go head-to-head in a 3-game series. And for the Dodgers, perhaps the toughest competition they will have seen since the Atlanta Braves. For the Cardinals, who have won 22 games with Mike Matheny at the reins, they are 8-2 against left-hand starters, and they're going to look at Ted Lilly tonight and Clayton Kershaw tomorrow. They are also undefeated on the road against left-hand starters. They are 6-0. The Birds lineup, it goes this way. Rafael Furcal leading off at short, Matt Carpenter at first base, Matt Holliday in left field. Carlos Beltran will be hitting fourth in right field, David Freese at third base. Yadier Molina will be behind the plate. Tyler Green at second base. Shane Robinson in center field batting eighth. Lance Lynn with a record of 6-1 on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Ted Lilly. 5 wins, no losses. He has an 8-game winning streak going back to last year. He's won 5 of his last 6 decisions against the Cardinals, and in his career, he is 7-3 against St. Louis. The Cardinals, in looking at the numbers at least, would appear to be a more successful team on the road than they are at home. They're 9-8 at home, 13-8 on the road. So Lilly would appear to have his work cut out for him as he goes up against a tough Cardinal ball club. Another thing about the Cardinals, as Rafael Furcal will lead off, they have hit 29 home runs on the road, and they've only allowed 13. So a favorite of all of us, Rafael Furcal, will come up and start it off. And Furcal having a great year right now as he checks in to lead off the game. Among other things, he just had a 12-game hitting streak snap. He's hitting .367. He went 3 for 3 with a walk to extend the streak on Sunday, and it snapped on Monday. He had another little streak. He led off 6 straight games with a base hit. The last Cardinal to do that, Lou Brock. In other words, Rafael Furcal riding high as he checks in. Switch hitter, batting right-handed, and Lilly's first pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Rafael Furcal, 6 wonderful years with the Dodgers. He won the respect and admiration of everybody around these parts. He has 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in, and Rafael takes a change in for a strike, and he's in a hole 0-2. Furcal, oh, you could go on for quite a while. You can begin by saying he was Rookie of the Year way back in 2000 with the Atlanta Braves. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, and Lilly delivers. Breaking ball, pull foul outside of third down the line, and the count stays 0-2. What else? Well, 3 years after being Rookie of the Year, he turned in an unassisted triple play. That would be in 2003, and against the St. Louis Cardinals. The second out of the triple play, he tagged Mike Matheny, who is now his manager. Rafael in and out of the box. Very tough to strike out, considering all of his plate appearances, but the strike 2 pitch is swung on and foul back. He still has spring in his legs. He'll be 34 in August, and he is number 1 in going from first to third on base hits. How about that at 34? And I mean number 1 in the league. So Rafael Furcal, 5'9", somewhere around 185, 190. Lilly from the third base side of the rubber picks up the sign from Ellis, and the veteran left-hander delivers, and a hopper to the left of short. D. Gordon is on it to throw him out. Little irony there, isn't it? The fact that the very first at bat, when Furcal comes back, he hits to the man who replaced him. So 1 away in the first inning, and Matt Carpenter will be coming up. They tried to play Carpenter in the outfield, but he was pretty shaky out there. They have him at first base. Lance Berkman sits down against left-handers. Matt's a Texan out of Texas Christian University, left-hand hitter, and the first pitch is a fastball low, ball 1. Berkman sitting quietly, another Texan, just taking a look at Matt Carpenter. When Carpenter was at TCU playing ball, he had Tommy John surgery. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt's good size, 6'3", 200, out of Sugar Land, Texas. When he signed with the Cardinals, he had to be eager to play. For about $1,000, he put his name on the contract. He takes inside on a check swing. No swing, says Chad Fairchild, and the count 2-1. Carpenter's been very effective coming off the bench. He has 4 RBIs as a pinch hitter. So the left-hand hitter waits, and the 2-1 pitch on the way, and that's a fastball inside under the hands, ball 3. For the Cardinals, like the Dodgers, like just about every club, injuries starting to pile up for Mike Matheny. But the good managers just go about their business, can't think of what might have been. 3-1 pitch, Carpenter lips one down the left field line. Gordon going out right in front of the left fielder Abreu to make the catch. D. Gordon is either going to get hurt or he's going to collide with an outfielder. They're trying to tell him to stay where he belongs, and Abreu is calling, and Gordon just takes it away from him. But a very risky and needless play, really. So 2 down, and the batter now, Matt Holliday. Matt, an outstanding player, as you know. I can't have anything to talk more about Holliday than what happened last year. He hits one foul down the right field line out of play. He had an appendectomy April the 1st last year. He scored the winning run in a game April the 10th. 10, amazing. Matt hitting .263, 8 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Lilly into his windup. Ted comes back, and it's fouled over the screen, and the count 0-2. Matt Holliday has always hit well against the Dodgers throughout his career. In fact, you have David Wright, Carlos Gonzalez, Brandon Phillips, and then Matt Holliday, who's hitting a very solid .350 down through the years, and I mean since 2004 against the Dodgers. Strike 2 pitch, curveball, swung on and missed, and down he goes. So Lilly takes care of Holliday. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the left-hander, and at the end of half an inning, Cardinals nothing, Dodgers coming up. A reason to smile. In first place, still 6 in front of the Giants. And we'll take a look at his lineup. D. Gordon opens up at short with Mark Ellis at second, Bobby Abreu in left, and Andre Ethier in right. Adam Kennedy at third. Then you have James Loney. A lot of left-hand hitters in the Dodger lineup. A.J. Ellis, the catcher, Tony Gwynn in center, and Ted Lilly in left field. Lance Lynn, couple of notes on him. He has the second highest run support in the league. The Cardinals getting him a little more than 7 runs a start. He works a lot. He averages a little over 4 pitches per at bat, but at the same time, he's had 9 3-pitch strikeouts. His earned run average on the road is 1.01, and it doesn't make any difference if you stack the lineup with left-handers. They're hitting 155 against him. So Lance Lynn delivers, in the first pitch a strike to D. Gordon. Gordon hitting .207 with a home run, 9 runs batted in. David Freese plays him right on the edge of the grass at third. Matt Carpenter shortens up at first. Gordon a full swing, ground ball to Carpenter, and he's right at the bag for the out. So 1 away in the first inning. Lance Lynn is 6'5" and a very big man, somewhere around 260 pounds. He was a first-round pick by the Cardinals out of the University of Mississippi. He was originally drafted by the Mariners, but he didn't sign. And then when he did sign with the Cardinals, it was for close to $1 million. So the big guy ready and deals, and the first pitch low to Mark Ellis. Ellis hitting .273, 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Lynn doesn't fool around. He comes right back with a fastball, but it's off the plate, and he's behind 2-0. We told you left-handers are hitting 155 against him. Right-handers are hitting 185. The 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's low and inside, ball 3. 3-0 the count. Amazing as Bobby Abreu waits on deck. When you look at Lynn's numbers, 3-0 pitch, and that's a strike. Give you an idea, his earned run average is 1.8, and the opposition batting average is 1.7. Out of Brownsburg, Indiana, and the fastball foul back. So Mark Ellis now runs the count all the way, 3-2. Yadier Molina, the remarkable catcher, 4 straight Gold Gloves, certainly the finest defensive catcher in the major leagues. 3-2 the count to Mark Ellis. Lynn ready, back he comes, and it's popped up into shallow center. Going out is Tyler Green, coming in is Shane Robinson, and it's Robinson for the catch. So 2 down in the first inning, and the batter Bobby Abreu. By the way, even though the Cardinals are in the Central Division, the Dodgers are going to see a lot of them. Dodgers will play the Cardinals, Mike Matheny, 11 times. You have a 3-game series now in September, and those could be really crushing games. They have 4 with St. Louis here, and they'll have to go to St. Louis as well. So it all adds up to 11. 2 down, Bobby Abreu has a look at the first pitch, low, ball 1. Abreu, big game last night in San Diego with a triple and a double. Scored twice and knocked in 1. Bobby hitting .314. Does bunt, and it's foul. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Yadier Molina having that ball just bounce right up into his mitt. So Abreu, I think, and Yadier Molina having a running conversation. 1 ball and 1 strike. Molina's from Puerto Rico. Bobby's from Venezuela. The 1-1 pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 1-2. Lance Lynn, minor league pitcher of the year for the Cardinals back in 2009. The 1-2 pitch to Abreu, swung on, high fly ball to left field, but waiting for it is Holiday. Matt makes the catch, and that's it. A 1-2-3 inning for Lance Lynn. So an inning is in the books. Cardinals nothing, Dodgers nothing. followed by David Freese and then Yadier Molina. Beltran hitting cleanup, multi-talented player, hitting .293 with 13 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Switch hitter, batting right-handed, and takes ball 1-0. Interesting statistically, Carlos Beltran is batting in the wrong spot in the Cardinal lineup, and we're not trying to second-guess Mike Matheny at all. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and whacked down the left field line, foul, out of play. When you looked over Beltran's career, he has been an unbelievable number 2 hitter. In fact, his on-base percentage when he did hit in the second slot was rather breathtaking. And since 1974, you just can't get him out when he's batting in the second spot. He hits cleanup and takes a breaking ball up, ball 2-1. Certainly no secret, he had one of the greatest postseasons ever, batting second for the Astros about 8 years ago. 2-1 pitch is taken low. During that postseason, hitting second in the lineup for the Astros, he had 8 home runs in 12 games. But he is such a solid player, despite the fact he has a sore knee. He's hitting cleanup. 3-1 pitch is pulled foul outside of third down the line. Earlier this year, Mike Matheny put him in that number 2 spot. And what happened? Carlos Beltran was the National League Player of the Week. Here's the 3-2 pitch on the way, and Beltran sprays it foul upstairs off to the right. We're just starting, second inning, no score. Carlos Beltran broke in back in 1999. Hitting back of him is David Freese. And Carlos was the American League Rookie of the Year back then. He promptly hits a bullet right at third baseman Kennedy, who takes it for the out. So Beltran, every ball he hit foul except for the one to the right was hit hard. And this one a sinker, and it was backhanded by Adam Kennedy for the out. 1 out, second inning, and the most valuable player in the World Series, David Freese, checking in. David out of Corpus Christi, Texas. When he was in college, he was a catcher. He takes the first pitch for a strike. Went to school at the University of South Alabama. Makes his home in St. Louis. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way to David. And he has a look, and that's in there, so he's in a hole 0-2. Freese hitting .280. 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. One thing about David Freese, he has certainly had his share of injuries. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way to the right-hand batter, and it's way outside. Just go to last year. In February, he had surgery on both of his ankles the fall before last year, and it took him about a month and a half into spring training before he could get started. The 1-2 pitch is hit to right field, and that's going to be caught by Andre Ethier. And we have 2 down. May to June, you may remember Freese broke a bone in his left hand, and then he underwent surgery on the left hand in May, and you thought, what a tough, miserable year. And he winds up being the MVP in the World Series. So we have 2 down, and Yadier Molina checking in at the plate. The remarkable catcher, 4 Gold Gloves, right-hand batter, holds up on a change high, ball 1. Yadier from Puerto Rico, the younger brother of catchers Ben and Jose. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Yadier fouls it back. Yadier Molina last year, among other things, proved he is an Iron Man. He caught all 20 innings in a game against the Mets, and then came right back the next day to catch the full 9. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Molina. Ted Lilly delivers low and inside at his right kneecap. Cardinals lost that 20-inning game 2-1, and he went 3 for 9, driving in the only run. The 2-1 pitch to Molina is taken a little high. Ball 3, 3-1. Yadier is a first ball hitter. In fact, starting tonight, he came in here swinging at the first pitch 43% of the time. But he's up there now, 3-1. Lilly into the windup, and Ted deals, and it's hit foul down the right field line, slicing back into the crowd. Molina, among other things, tough to strike out. Last year in 139 games, he struck out 44 times. That's all. So Molina on a 3-2 count waiting. Here comes Lilly, and it's a fastball, and it's lifted into shallow center. Angling out is Mark Ellis, and he'll make the catch. Tony Gwynn standing alongside of him. So Molina pops up, 6 in a row retired by Ted Lilly, and at the end of an inning and a half, no score.
To look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Bottom of the second inning, no score in the ball game. The Dodgers and Cardinals. Lance Lynn getting ready to face Andre Ethier. Ethier has been producing, and certainly a solid key to the Dodgers' success. And it's even more evident with Matt Kemp's sideline. Andre, when you look at the wins and losses, when the Dodgers win, he's actually hitting .481 with runners in scoring position. And in those victories, he has 29 of his 35 RBIs. So Ethier checking in the second inning. Lynn ready and deals, and the first one is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Andre behind Josh Hamilton, who has 45. And 1 ahead of Edwin Encarnacion. The 1-0 pitch is swung on. Fly ball to center and deep. Shane Robinson on the track to make the catch. About 6 or 7 feet shy of the center field wall. So we have 1 down in the second inning on the long fly ball. And the batter will be Adam Kennedy. Dodgers, of course, you know, have they're injured like Hairston, Uribe, and Kemp, just to mention a couple. Well, as Matt Kemp looks on, the Cardinals have had their problems. They have Alan Craig down with a hamstring like Matt. They have John Jay down with a bad shoulder. He crashed into a wall. And Kyle McClellan, a hard-working pitcher with a bad elbow. 0-1 the count. But despite all the injuries, you have 2 first-place teams tonight. Kennedy takes off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Adam. Matt Holliday shortens up in left field against Kennedy. The 1-1 pitch is hit in the air, slicing foul down the left field line and back in amongst the fans. Game 1 of the 3-game series. Tomorrow night, Jake Westbrook and Clayton Kershaw. That ought to be a dandy. 1-2 the count. Lynn works from the first base side of the rubber. And the 1-2 pitch is hit into right center field, and that's going to land. They'll have to chase it to the wall. It's picked up by Shane Robinson, and holding with the double is Adam Kennedy. So the fly ball double that landed between Beltran and Robinson. I don't imagine Beltran can move too well. He has a sore knee. But the ball looked like it might have been caught. Robinson, however, couldn't get to it, and Beltran really was out of the play. So Adam Kennedy will take it. A double to the gap in right center, and the batter is James Loney. Dodgers have 4 consecutive left-hand batters: Abreu, Ethier, Kennedy, and Loney. They have Gordon leading off, and at the bottom they have Gwynn and Lilly left-handed. So Lynn out of a stretch. A look back at Kennedy. Loney grounds one foul outside of first down the line, and the count 0-1. Last year, these teams certainly played different on the road. The Cardinals came here and beat the Dodgers 3 out of 4, and the Dodgers went to St. Louis and beat the Cardinals all 3. So it wound up Dodgers winning the season series 4-3. And when they beat the Cardinals, those 3 in St. Louis, it looked like the Cardinals were dead. Done. The pitch to Loney is off the plate. 1-1 the count. Well, the Cardinals never quit and wound up atop the heap, led of course by people like Holliday, and of course now they have Carlos Beltran and Yanni Arias. Well, everywhere you look, good solid player. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming up to Loney, and that misses the outside corner. 2-1 the count. Dodgers have been very, very fortunate playing a lot of games at home. 18 of 23 at Dodger Stadium, and they have finished playing 10. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Loney, sprayed foul off third out of play, and the count 2-2. So playing at home, they played 20 games this year, and Mattingly's club has won 16 out of 20. Dodgers break even on the road. And against the Central Division, despite all the heroics by A.J. Ellis and the rest, they're only 7-5 against the Central. No score, bottom of the second inning. Kennedy has just doubled with 1 out. And the 2-2 pitch to James Loney. Lynn looks back, now fires, and just misses outside. 3-2 the count. In looking at Lynn's numbers, came into the game 44 strikeouts and 14 walks, so a wee bit better than 3-1. Full count to Loney. James hitting .233, has not been hitting against left-handers, but doing pretty well against right-handers. 3-2 pitch is swung on, and that's heading for the gap, and that one is going to go through to the wall. So Kennedy waited to see if it's going to be caught. He jogs home. Back-to-back doubles by Kennedy and Loney, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. Ball's landing in almost the same spot. That was a fastball up above the belt and out in the middle of the plate, and Loney didn't waste time with that. So Kennedy and Loney get the Dodgers a run, and the batter now will be A.J. Ellis with a modest 6-game hitting streak. A.J. third in the major leagues as far as getting on base. He's reached on a walk or a hit 26 straight, 29 of 30. Right-hand hitting catcher, batting .330, and takes a strike. 0-1. With that good eye of his, Ellis has walked 22 times. hitting .333 against right-handers. Lance Lynn down 1-0, comes back inside on the hands. Check swing, and they look at first. Swing, says Alfonso Marquez. And A.J. Ellis with the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Tom Hallion is the plate umpire. Tom's been in the big leagues for 19 years. He's from New York, lives in Kentucky, went to the University of Buffalo, umpired in the 2008 World Series. 0-2 the count. Here comes Lance Lynn, fastball on the hands, fouled away. And Ellis still there, 0-2. That fastball moved up at 94. So Ethier, a long fly ball to center for an out. Kennedy doubles to the gap in right center, and Loney follows with almost the identical shot, another double. So Adam Kennedy has reasons to smile as he listens to Dee Gordon in the Dodger dugout. 0-2 the count to Ellis. And a fastball is hit into left field, base hit. Holliday is going to come to the plate, and so is Loney. A diving tag is missed by Molina, and down to second base goes A.J. Ellis. And the Dodgers lead 2-0. They ran Loney because Matt Holliday does not have what you'd call a really good arm. The throw was up the line and wide of the plate. Molina tries to make a diving tag, but he misses. And for A.J. Ellis, he's now hit safely in 7 straight. The throw offline, and Loney came around to get the hand on the plate. Good call by Tom Hallion. Molina never got to him. So Ellis a base hit, scores Loney. Dodgers lead 2-0. And A.J. Ellis now at second base thanks to the throw to the plate. And the batter is Tony Gwynn. Both of these teams are very good at scoring early. And the Dodgers have put that in the window right now. The pitch to Gwynn, low and away. In the first 3 innings, the Cardinals this year have scored 91 runs. In the first 3 innings, counting tonight, the Dodgers now have scored 69 runs. And what makes it great for both teams, they score early, and then they are stubborn, tenacious about giving up the lead. The 1-0 pitch fouled away. Give you an idea, when the Dodgers score first, they are 20-6. And when the Cardinals score first, they are 17-6. So you expect early action, and we've gotten it. 2 doubles and a single, while Lilly shut down the Cardinals, retiring 6 in a row. So A.J. Ellis at second with 1 out. Dodgers lead 2-0. Gwynn trying to pick him up. And the 1-1 pitch. Lynn looks back at second. Pitch is low and away. And they count 2 balls and 1 strike. Tony hitting .282, 6 runs batted in. He had a single and a double last night. Ted Lilly hitting back of him. The 2-1 pitch is pulled. A hopper right by the glove of Matt Carpenter and down the line. Scoring is Ellis, and Gwynn is on his way for 3, and he'll make it standing up. And the Dodgers pick up another. 3-0 Dodgers in the second inning. So the Dodgers suddenly open up the book for extra base hit. It was a breaking ball, and Gwynn was able to hit it right by Matt Carpenter, just by his glove, and went all the way down in the corner. Scoring easily was A.J. Ellis. He gets 5s in the Dodger dugout. Now, with a runner at third and only 1 out, Lilly up there, and the Cardinal infield is up. So 3-0 Dodgers, second inning. I should say they score early in the game. Lynn ready and delivers, in the first pitch in for a strike. Ted Lilly has had 12 at-bats. He has 1 hit. He has struck out 5 times. He does have 3 sacrifices. And with Dee Gordon on deck, they might very well think about squeeze. So we'll watch Tony Gwynn. And Lilly waiting, hitting less than a buck. 1 out, 3 in. Dodgers lead 3-0. Out of his stretch goes Lance Lynn, looking over at Gwynn. Full swing foul by Lilly. So now he's in a hole 0-2, and you are not thinking about squeeze. Wallach, however, taking a look over in the Dodger dugout. After Efia's long fly ball that sent Shane Robinson to the track in dead center, Kennedy doubled to right center, Loney doubled to right center, Ellis single to left, and Gwynn tripled into the right field corner. So here's the strike 2 pitch to Ted Lilly. It is swung on and foul back, so Ted's still up there, 0-2. So the Dodgers getting the drop. Cardinals, by the way, have been struggling of late. They've lost 5 of 7. But they still out in front of Cincinnati. They lead the Reds by 2.5 games going into this one. Here's the strike 2 pitch to Lilly. Lynn deals, breaking ball chopped at and missed, and down goes Lilly. So that is strikeout number 1 for the big right-hander, and the batter now will be Dee Gordon. Gordon grounded out to Matt Carpenter in the first inning. Dodgers 3 runs, 4 hits. Cardinals nothing across. Gordon checks in with Mark Ellis on deck. Lynn out of a stretch, eyeballing Gwynn, and the big right-hander's first pitch is off the plate. I think his biggest problem tonight, he is rarely getting a first pitch strike. So Lynn came in here with a record of 6-1, 5-0 on the road. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Dee Gordon, and that's a breaking ball hit slowly to the right side. Tyler Green to Carpenter, and that's it. But the damage done. 4 straight hits, 2 doubles, a single, and a triple, and at the end of 2, 3-0 Dodgers. By Adam Kennedy with 1 out in the second inning. Adam doubled, Loney doubled him in, A.J. Ellis singled in Loney, Tony Gwynn tripled in Ellis, and the Dodgers sitting on top of a 3-0 lead. Tyler Green, right-hand batter, the second baseman for the Cardinals. Tyler has a look at a big, slow breaking ball for a strike that came in there at 65 miles an hour. Green hitting .235, 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Went to school at Georgia Tech. He shows bunt, drops the bunt up along third. Good bunt, picked up by Kennedy, who has no play. So Tyler Green lays down a dandy. And that breaks the spell after Lilly had retired 6 in a row. It was such a good bunt, there was no play, no chance. So Green is aboard, and Shane Robinson will be coming up. Robinson, the center fielder, who had to spend a little bit of the second inning chasing those doubles to the gap in right center. He's a Florida boy who went to school at Florida State. And the first pitch swung on and fouled back. Shane Robinson is not a big man at all. He's about 5'9", weighs about 165, but he was an all-state baseball player in high school and got a scholarship to play ball at Florida State. And at Florida State, among other things, he broke J.D. Drew's hitting streak record. So Tyler Green at first. Lilly working out of a stretch for the first time tonight. Shane Robinson with the Cardinals, but for 9 games last year. Takes a breaking ball a little high. 1-1 to count. One of the things they've had Robinson do is close up his stance a bit and try to use his body more than his hands. It's not really a closed stance, so he must have been wide open. Green at first, nobody out. Lilly decides to pay him a visit. You know how the league runs on Ted Lilly. Last we checked, I think the success rate was around 87%. 2 things have bugged him throughout his career: the stolen base and the home run. This year he's allowed just 1 home run up to here. Stumbling at first, drawing a throw, and it goes down the right field line, and Green goes to second. So there's a fluke play. Tyler Green was going to go on the pitch at the plate. He stumbled, and A.J. Ellis figured he had a shot at him, and Loney was coming off the bag, so there was no one really there, and the throw went down the line, and A.J. Ellis will get the error, only to explain the presence of Green, who almost fell down. Loney didn't expect the throw and had a late reaction. So Green is at second. And getting back to the bag and then getting up and moving on. Green is at second. The 1-2 pitch on the way, foul back. One of the notes they have on Shane Robinson, he bunts very well. But he has 2 strikes on him now, so Kennedy's deep at third. Using his body more, they feel, gives him a shorter stroke. He's not big enough to be a home run hitter, so they'll be settling for line drives, and he's doing pretty well, hitting .269. The 1-2 pitch on the way, curveball chased and missed in the dirt, picked up by Ellis, who throws too late. What a fluky inning. Tyler Green, meanwhile, had to hold at second, and that's enough for Don Mattingly to take his cap off and have a puzzled look on his face. Shane Robinson strikes out and reaches, big curveball in the dirt, and for a moment A.J. Ellis just lost sight of the ball, and by the time he got it to Loney, Robinson is safe. So I assume strike out, pass ball. No, they're going to say wild pitch. Okay. 2 on, nobody out, and here's Lance Lynn coming up. Lynn with the bat has 3 hits. He's showing bunt. The fastball is bunted. Fair ball picked up there by Kennedy. Throws to first for the out. So the sacrifice works to put runners at second and third. So first you have Green stumbling on his way going to second, drawing a throw and reaching second on the throw, which wasn't covered by Loney. Then you have Robinson striking out on a wild pitch and reaching, and now you have the sacrifice by Lynn. Not exactly a rally, but they do have runners at second and third, and old pal Rafael Furcal coming up. So Furcal with a chance to hurt his old team. Rafael batting .365, grounded out his first at bat, and takes a strike, and they count 0-1. It was a long time ago, but Raphael, in a game against the Florida Marlins, had 3 triples in one game. First base open, 3-0 Dodgers, top of the third. For call waiting, and the strike one pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. 0-2. One of the things I always loved about Raphael Furcal, one of the contracts that he signed with the Dodgers, he had a stipulation in the contract. I want the Dodgers to donate a fire engine to his little town in the Dominican. And he got the fire engine. 0-2 the count. Here comes Lilly. Big curveball hit foul outside of first, almost nailed Chris Maloney, the first base coach. 0-2. In the number 1 lineup, we were talking about Beltran and how successful he's been when he's hitting second. Raphael this year is hitting .433, hitting in the leadoff spot. 0-2 the count. Second and third, 1 out. Not exactly a rally, but the Cardinals will take it, and now Lilly wants to talk to Ellis. Raphael from a little town, Loma de Cabrera, in the Dominican Republic. About 6,000 people there. As he said, he was very fortunate. His house had 2 bedrooms. A lot of his friends had dirt floors, no electricity. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way to Raphael. Lilly delivers curveball, hit in the air to center, having to go back on the ball, still going back as Gwynn. 1 run will score, and Robinson tags and goes to third as Green brings it in. Boy, did that ball carry. Furcal still very strong, and Gwynn couldn't believe it. He had to go back on the track, and he was lucky to get back there. So Raphael picks up an RBI with the scoring fly ball and gets 5s. So it is now 3-1 in favor of the Dodgers. With 2 out, Robinson is at third. And here's Matt Carpenter, the first baseman. Lilly ready, sends the first one in for a strike. And the count 0-1 to Matt. There are 2 Carpenters, but the one they really miss, and there's no knock on Matt, would be Chris Carpenter, a Cy Young Award winner back in 2005. 0-1 to Matt. Curveball, check swing, and it's a strike. 0-2. There used to be 2 Charles Feeney in baseball. One was the league president, and the other was a sports writer in Pittsburgh. And the one in Pittsburgh, good-naturedly, everybody called him the wrong Feeney. Well, for St. Louis, at least for the moment, Matt's the wrong Carpenter, but doing a good job hitting .287. Lilly ready, here he comes. Fastball down and dirty, and a nice block and saved by Ellis. With a runner at third, we always check, and Lilly does have 2 wild pitches as Robinson walks down the line from third. 2 out, a run in. Dodgers 3, Cardinals 1. Lilly from a stretch, and his 1-2 pitch. Fastball down and away. Check swing. No swing, says Chad Fairchild. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Carpenter. Waiting on deck, Matt Holliday. Don Mattingly hollering, and he's going to be kicked out of the game. Don Mattingly from the dugout was hollering at Tom Hallion, and he is chased. So remember, Mattingly was kicked out in the game involving Clayton Kershaw, and now hollering from the dugout. Most times you don't see an umpire throwing out of the dugout unless, let's say, it's a hitter who's already hollered and tried to show him up. And nobody else in the ballpark really was aware about Mattingly. But Don getting it all out. The pitch at the plate, a check swing. which, of course, well, let's put it this way. There was a wonderful umpire who umpired for many, many years in the National League. Jocko Conlon was his name, and Conlon felt there is no such thing as a half swing because there's no such thing as a half strike. So as far as Jocko was concerned, no matter what, if you didn't really swing, it wasn't a strike. Well, it wasn't Hallian anyway. It was the third base, Chad Fairchild, who called it. The next pitch, another check swing and another no swing. So 3-2 the count, and Mattingly having the lead. Three and two. So a rather frustrating inning. A bunt single, a throwing error by the catcher, a strikeout on a wild pitch, and a scoring fly ball for 1. 3-2 pitch is swung on and fouled away. Naturally, with a hitter like Matt Holliday waiting on deck, the Dodgers certainly want to use Matt Carpenter to get out of the inning. Holliday, with 8 home runs and 27 runs batted in, is waiting. 3-2 the count. And remember, Holliday's hitting about .350 against the Dodgers in his career. Fastball is whacked into right center, and it is going to drop between Ethier and Gwynn. Scoring on the ball is Robinson, and now the Cardinals are right back in the game. And remember what we talked about these two teams, and they are certainly living up to the advance notices. Each team scores in the first 3 innings. Well, the Dodgers have 3, the Cardinals have 2, and here comes Holliday. So Carpenter, a long at bat, couple of check swings, the calls went his way, and he gets a base hit and a run batted in. So 3-2 in favor of the Dodgers, and here's Holliday. And Lilly's first pitch, almost a wild pitch, way off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. For Ted Lilly and Matt Holliday, well, Holliday is 1 for 9, hitting less than $1.25 against Ted Lilly. Matt waiting, hitting .261, 8 home runs, 27 runs batted in. He hits a curveball to left field, and there's no doubt about it. That is 3/4 of the way up the pavilion, and all of a sudden it is 4-3 St. Louis. So a very strange inning, jumps up and bites the Dodgers. And Matt Holliday hits his 9th home run of the year, 29 runs batted in. And after the Dodgers score 3, the Cardinals come back with 4. And for Ted Lilly, up jumped the devil. The home run ball, only the 2nd one this year, but this one very painful. And now the batter is Carlos Beltran, way out in front of an off-speed pitch. So Holliday, who always wears out the Dodgers, I mean, when you're hitting .350 in your career against a team, they know all about you. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way. And that's swung on, pulled on the ground, and smothered by Kennedy, who gets up and throws him out. Beltran on a bad knee, but Holliday with a good swing. And just like that, at the end of 2.5 innings, it's 4-3 Cardinals. Up in the pavilion to left field. The Cardinals turn it around on a weird inning and lead the Dodgers 4-3 after an infield single, a strikeout on a wild pitch, a throwing error charge to the catcher, and then a scoring fly ball. Then after a couple of check swings, a single by Carpenter followed by Holliday's bomb. So the Dodgers might have tried to come back. Ellis 0 for 1, fly to center. Remember those numbers we gave you about these two teams in the first 3 innings? With 4 runs in the 3rd inning tonight, the Cardinals have scored 95 runs in the first 3 innings of their games played today. Matheny's been out in front a lot of times. Strike 2 pitch, down and away. Ball 1 to Mark. Remember the other note we gave you about Lynn? He gets a lot of runs to work with. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and a line drive base hit in the left field for Mark Ellis. So it's the Dodgers' turn. Now, in the top of the 3rd inning, Matt Holliday really connected. He hit one 3/4 of the way up the pavilion for a home run. But if you turn the clock back to 2006, he hit a curveball amongst the 3 sisters, the palm trees back of the Dodger bullpen. I mean, that one was a monster. So Holliday continues to give the Dodgers a bad time. That home run that went amongst the palm trees, 481 feet. Now this one, nothing quite like that, but he crushed it. So it's 4-3 St. Louis, and here's Bobby Abreu with Ellis at first. Nobody out. 4 runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. 3 runs, 5 hits, and an error for the Dodgers. Abreu flied to left in the 1st inning. Lynn set, comes back tight and low, and it's a 2-ball, no strike count. For Lance Lynn, the number that we gave you at the start of the game, he gets a little more than 7 runs to lean on in his starts. And he is 6-1. Wade Miley, the left-hander with Arizona, gets a little bit more as Abreu takes a strike, and the count 2-1. Abreu followed by Ethier. Lance Lynn working from the first base side of the rubber. Mark Ellis held on at first by Carpenter, and a 2-1 count to Bobby Abreu. Lynn at the belt, comes to the plate and works the fastball away. Ball 3, 3-1. Lynn in his first 2 innings got through the 1st inning cheaply enough with 12 pitches, but he labored in the 2nd inning, made 26 pitches, and that's when he gave up a single, 2 doubles, and a triple. By the way, there's a beach ball out in left center field, so timeout while that's retrieved. So 95 runs scored by the Cardinals in the first 3 innings of their games, and the Dodgers 70 in the first 3 innings of theirs. And of course, a big contributor tonight, as usual, Matt Holliday. 3-1 the count to Bobby Abreu. Lynn out of his stretch, looking over his left shoulder at Ellis, and the pitch to Abreu is outside, ball 4. So we might very well be in for a Pier 6 brawl. Say, by the way, be sure to bring the kids to Dodger Stadium Sunday at 5. Dodgers and Cardinals. The first 15,000 kids, 14 and under in attendance, receive their very own power necklace. Compliments of Wetzel's Pretzels. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotion. Andre Ethier sent Shane Robinson to the track in dead center for his long fly ball in the 2nd inning. Andre hitting .305, 8 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Andre has just one psychological thing to deal with as he takes ball 1, and that is not trying to do it all in the absence of Matt Kemp. 1 ball and no strikes. Bobby Abreu at first, Mark Ellis at second, nobody out. 4-3 Cardinals, but we're just warming up. It's the third inning. The 1-0 pitch is swung on, fly ball to right field. Right there's Beltran. Tagging up at second is Mark Ellis, and he'll move over to third. Ethier seemed a little surprised. I think Andre thought he hit that ball better than it was hit. The crowd thought so, but they were seeing it with their hearts. So Ethier a fly ball to right, advancing Ellis. And with one out, Adam Kennedy coming up. A meeting at the mound that gives us a chance to check Lance Lynn. He has one wild pitch. The batter Adam Kennedy, who doubled to the gap in right center in the second inning. Kennedy, who spent all of last year with Seattle, he is the veteran of the major leagues. He's in 1,334 games. Up there now trying to pick up a tying run. Mark Ellis from third and fouls the first pitch away. 0-1 to count. So Kennedy, the local boy who has come home. No Dodger has ever faced Lynn in the major leagues. A couple of them faced him in the minors at Albuquerque. Adam checking, now gets back in. Abreu away from first, Ellis at third, one out. 4-3 Cardinals in the third. Lynn throws to first. Jumping back on the bag is Abreu. Abreu does not have a stolen base. Bobby doesn't do much running, although he'll certainly gladly run out a triple. Abreu, with the Angels last year, stole 21. The pitch of the plate way outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So at 38, Bobby is still in very good shape, and they hold him on at first base. One ball and 1 strike to count to Adam Kennedy. Abreu at first, Ellis at third, 1 away. Kennedy with Loney to follow. Now the 1-1 pitch from Lynn, breaking ball, it slides in there nicely. Talking about a late breaking pitch. That thing at the last moment seemed to just slide in and catch the corner. He basically fastball, curveball, he has a slider and a change. The big thing is he pitches downhill. He's 6'5", standing on that 10-inch mound. Kennedy, who uppercuts the ball, swings, fouls it back. So you have a downhill pitcher and an uppercut swinger. Take your choice. Cardinals 4 runs, 3 hits. The Dodgers 3 runs, 5 hits. Dodgers exploded in the second inning. A single, 2 doubles, and a triple. Kennedy back up 1-2 the count. Adam hitting .205. Again Lynn ready. Checks the runners at first and third. Right-handed deal, swung on and fouled away again. Lynn has 1 strikeout, and that was Ted Lilly. And the Dodgers are certainly not swinging and missing, which is a dangerous sign for Lance Lynn. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, they hook up again. Molina looks over to Matheny in the dugout. Now shuffles his cards behind the plate. And the 1-2 pitch to Kennedy. Lynn delivers. Looper into right field, base hit. The tying run scores. Down to second goes Abreu, and they're all even 4-4. And Lance Lynn, who came in here, just cannot throw the ball by a Dodger hitter. It's pretty obvious now, and there's some concern. Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, is going out to the mound. The Kennedy just lays back, then rolls it, and promptly singles to right field. Abreu to second. Mark Ellis scores. 4-4 in the third inning. So the two first-place teams trying to wear each other out. Ellis brings in the run to tie it up. Lilliquist continues to talk to Lance Lynn. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. Lynn making a lot of pitches. And remember, I told you I thought the Dodgers were not swinging and missing. There have been only 2 swings and misses right now against Lance Lynn. So here's Loney, who doubled to right center to score Kennedy in the second inning. James hitting only 135 against left-handers, but at least 280 against right-handers, and he takes it low, ball 1. That's another thing about Lance Lynn. He is not getting that first pitch for a strike. So you put together he's pitching behind a lot. The hitters are making contact, and so he's given up 4 runs, 6 hits, and he's not finished yet. 2 on, 1 out. The 1-0 pitch. Loney bangs it the other way. Base hit. Abreu will stop at third, and the bases will be loaded. So Lance Lynn, to use the up-to-date expression, is pitching to contact, and the contact is killing him. He's allowed 7 hits and 4 runs. He's even. And now he has A.J. Ellis with the bases loaded. Loney 2 for 2. Kennedy 2 for 2. Ellis singled to left field to drive in Loney back in the second inning. A.J. up there in the rarefied air, batting .337, hitting .250 with the bases loaded. No slams in his young career. Lynn at the belt. Lance delivers. Breaking ball, slider in the dirt. Nice save by Molina. 1 ball and no strikes. So in the inning, Mark Ellis single to left and Abreu walk. After Ethier flied to right, Kennedy single to right to cash in Ellis. Loney single to left. That moved Abreu to third to load him up. The 1-0 pitch is taken low. Ball 2. So Lynn, to be honest, is very much off his game. He certainly doesn't look like a guy who was 6-1, who was 5-0 on the road, and who had an earned run average of less than 2. Not right now. The 2-0 pitch coming up to Ellis, and that's a fastball in for a strike. Fastball clocked at 93. 4-4 in the third. They said they scored in the first 3 innings, and they sure have put that in the display case. Now the 2-1 pitch with the bases loaded. Chopper foul outside of third down the line. So Abreu is at third, Kennedy at second, Loney at first, 1 out. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 4 runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. Some strange goings on in the third helped the Birds get their 4th. 2-2 to A.J. Ellis. Lynn at the belt, delivers, and is a roller to short. Furcal shovels it to Green, who will turn it to Carpenter, and that's the double play. So the Dodgers scuffle, come up with 3 hits and a walk, and wind up with only 1 run. And at the end of 3, a 4-4 tie. This is really going to be a tight pitching duel. The right-hander Lance Lynn, the left-hander Ted Lilly. Well, they are 4-4 as we move to the fourth inning. Lance Lynn resting in the Cardinal dugout, and Ted going back to work. He'll be pitching to David Freese, Yadier Molina, and Tyler Green. Ball one. David Freese fly to right field in the second inning. David Freese turns out to have a particular place in Cardinal history, and it's really surprising. A strike. Cardinals have played in 18 World Series. That's 112 World Series games. Only once has a Cardinal hit a walk-off home run in a World Series game, and you're looking at him, David Freese. 1-2. In Game 6 last year to help win the 11th World Championship for the Cardinals of St. Louis. Rather remarkable. Freese hitting .278. And strike three called. So we have one away. Right now it's time to get you thinking about our trivia question. Talking about David Freese, the sixth player to win the LCS and World Series MVP in the same season. Can you remember the other five? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. Ground ball down to Adam Kennedy, coming off the bat of Yadier Molina, and we have two out. Ted Lilly, we were talking about the two things that have plagued him throughout his career, the home run ball and the stolen base. This year, the league is successful in, well, no, not this year. Last year, the league was successful in stealing 95% of the time. 95. So that really is something to haunt him. But he has two out, and here's Tyler Green. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Green, little bunt up along third, legged it for a base hit, and eventually came around to score in that rather wild and somewhat frustrating inning for the Dodgers. Strike one pitch, 0-2. Four in the fourth. Down he goes. So Ted comes up with two strikeouts for the third time tonight in 4 innings. He retires the side in order. And at the end of 3.5, we're up to our hips and fours. Think possible. By El Pollo Loco, crazy you can taste. And by Mercury Insurance. Buy a policy and get a free Dodger jersey from your local agent. Bottom of the fourth inning in a 4-4 tie. It'll be Tony Gwynn, Ted Lilly, and then D. Gordon. Big story in baseball tonight, the frustration of Justin Verlander. Great pitcher in Detroit. He had a no-hitter with one out in the ninth inning. Josh Harrison single, punched into center field, broke it up. Verlander then retired the next two batters to complete the one-hit shutout. And what amazes me, the count was 0-2 when Harrison got the base hit. The 1-0 pitch, no bunt. Maybe he got a little bit of it. Let's see. There was no indication by Tom Hallion that he did foul it. 2 balls and no strikes, the count. We have seen so many base hits, no balls and 2 strikes. Really, if you're an old timer watching baseball, you are shocked. That's going to go foul down the line, out of play. To get back to Verlander, Verlander's 5th pitch was slapped for a base hit. None of the 5 pitches were fastballs. And then the final pitch of the night, he had to put a little frustration on that. Andrew McCutchen went down on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-2. Verlander remains tied with Virgil Trucks for the Tiger record of 2 career no-hitters. Trucks got them both way back in 1952. So Verlander so near and yet so far. An 0-2 count and giving up a base hit. 2-2. Ground ball up the middle. Diving try by Rafael, but no chance. So Tony Gwynn, who tripled in the second inning, singles to center, and Ted Lilly coming up. Be sure to join the Dodgers tomorrow for Dodger Stadium's 50th anniversary Fan Fest, presented by State Farm. Autographs, music, live entertainment, games, and more. The gates open at noon prior to the game with the Cardinals at 7:10. And by the way, entry is included with your ticket to the game. So visit Dodgers.com/50th. See about Ted trying to get a bunt down. He's showing bunt and gets it down. Carpenter has to make the play to green. Sacrifice works. That advances Gwynn. For Ted Lilly, dropping that 4th sacrifice. He has the same number as Kershaw. Chris Capuano is the guy to get the bunt down. He has 7. I mentioned it before, but seeing so many base hits 0-2 this year, I remember years ago, managers would fine a pitcher if he gave up a base hit, no balls and 2 strikes. And there was a pitcher with the Giants named Bill Voiselle pitching to a batter with the Cardinals named Vernal Nippy Jones. Foul ball. Voiselle had been told, you give up a base hit 0-2, it's going to cost you $500. And we're talking late 40s, early 50s, 500 stopped traffic. And he got 0-2 on Jones. Jones got a base hit, and Voiselle was so mad, realizing how much money it was going to cost him, he threw the rosin bag at Jones as he rounded the base at first. 0-1 the count. Popped up. Backing off is David Freese in foul ground. So Gordon going 0 for 3. And the batter now will be Mark Ellis.
For second baseman, number 14, Mark Ellis.
We're pretty early in the game. We're only in the 4th inning. And Kennedy has 2 hits, Loney has 2 hits, and Gwynn has 2 hits. Mark Ellis, 1 for 2. Four runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. But the big bomb, Matt Holliday's home run with a man aboard. 1 ball and no strikes. He never takes a holiday against the Dodgers, does Matt, huh? Ellis batting .277. Trying to pick up Gwynn and break the tie. And he hits it to center, but that figures to go in the glove of Shane Robinson, and that's that. So they leave Gwynn at second base, and at the end of 4-4-4. Two years after suffering a severe elbow injury, his career saved by an experimental surgery.
If you don't have it done, he said, I can guarantee you, you will never, ever pitch Major League Baseball again. If you have it done, the chances are you won't pitch Major League Baseball. And I said, there's no downside risk then, because I want to pitch.
Four as we go to the 5th inning. It'll be Shane Robinson, then Lance Lynn, and the leadoff man, Rafael Furcal. Shane Robinson struck out on a wild pitch that was just part of that somewhat weird 3rd inning, and it led to 4 runs for the Cardinals. And a strike. 0-1. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. 4 runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. Lilly has struck out 3. Fouled away. 0-2 the count. Robinson a little bit out in front on that changeup. Shane has wonderful speed going from home to first. We mentioned earlier he bunts well, but he has 2 strikes on him, so the Dodgers play back. He's been clocked as a right-handed batter going from home to first. 4.1. 1-2. Fouled away off to the right, out of play. Shane is from Tampa. Been playing in the Cardinal chain since 2006. Had the so-called cup of coffee in 2009, and then again last year. Foul ball. At 5'9" and maybe 165, we mentioned they want him to get his body into it instead of just his hands. Trying very hard to make sure he has a short swing. He does have 1 home run. Down he goes. So that's not only 4 strikeouts for Lilly. Actually, if you throw in the wild pitch, it gives him 5. But he's also struck out 3 of the last 4. Lance Lynn, who gives you that big strike zone, he sacrificed in the 3rd inning. One out, fifth inning. Lynn at 6'5" and about 260. Big man. Oh, and 2. Got a little jam that time on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. 4 runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. One of them, 2-run home run by Matt Holliday. 0-2. Curveball and rolled slowly to third. Kennedy throws him out. Lynn doesn't run that well. Too big to motor. 2 down.
Shortstop, number 15, Rafael Furcal.
Now Rafael Furcal. Grounded to short, came up in the third inning. You knew he would do something well. And he hit that long fly ball that carried more than it sounded when it left home plate. And Gwynn had to go to the track to make the catch. Deep enough to cash in Tyler Green. Furcal years ago was a threat to bunt, especially when he was hitting left-handed against the Dodgers. He would try to bunt the ball by the mound towards the shortstop. And he would bunt it like Ichiro. He'd be on the dead run as he pushed the ball, and it was pretty hard to throw him out. Full swing foul. Years ago, in fact, it was his first year when Rafael was Rookie of the Year, he put 33 bunts in play. I mean, he could do it. One ball and 1 strike for Rafael. 6 years with the Dodgers. Off speed, hit to the left of Gordon. D is on it. Low throw. Loney right there. So it's another 1-2-3 inning. That's 4 of the 5 innings, and it's a 4-4 tie. Bottom of the 5th inning. Bobby Abreu, Andre Ethier, and Adam Kennedy. Another note about Lance Lynn. He had a very tough 2nd inning. He made 26 pitches. Up to tonight, after his first 25 pitches, the opposition is hitting just 145. Well, the Dodgers came back following that lengthy 2nd inning, came back in the 3rd inning when he made 24 more pitches. But the double play bailed him out with the bases loaded, and he only gave up 1. Abreu is flied to left and walked. And that's in there. Bobby got as far as 3rd in the 3rd inning. Outfield plays him straight away. pulled to the hole. A great diving stop by Tyler Green to throw him out. So a nice play by the Cardinals second baseman to take what appeared to be a sure base hit away from Abreu. Fully extended, stayed with it, and gets him. So Andre Ethier coming up. Take another look at Tyler Green. Nice play, Ty. And now here's Ethier. Fly deep to center in the second inning, and a fly ball to right in the third that advanced Mark Ellis from second to third. 1 out, 4-4. Missed that corner, ball one. Andre batting .303 with 8 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Off the plate. 2-0. Lynn walked Abreu in the third inning. That's the only walk. But he might very well be pitching around Ethier. There's another beach ball loose, so timeout. For Andre, a 3-0 count, 8 home runs. The power pack in the lineup. So there is certainly nothing automatic for him to be taking 3-0. Way outside. They weren't taking any chances. So they pitch around Ethier with 1 out. Second walk given up. Remember, we gave you that trivia question a little while ago, and we assume you've had enough time to come up with an answer. David Freese, the 6th player to win the LCS and the World Series MVP. Who are the others? Cole Hamels, Livan Hernandez, Oral Hershiser, Darrell Porter, and Willie Stargell. Well, here's Kennedy, doubled and singled. Ground ball, foul off the glove of Matt Carpenter. 0-1 to count. So Ethier back to first. Andre has not been involved in a stolen base. He could certainly be involved in hit and run. Lynn is certainly not an overpowering pitcher. Oh, he's hit 90s, but he only has 1 strikeout, and that was Lilly. Ground ball, base hit into right field. So he'd be in a lot of trouble already, except for Tyler Green. Beltran makes a great throw, but it's not in time. And the Dodgers now in business. And Kennedy is 3 for 3. So the Dodgers are facing a big guy with great numbers. But as we mentioned earlier, there's only been 2 swings and misses. He's been pitching behind to almost every hitter, and he's in hot water yet again. And what if it allowed a run, except for the play by Tyler Green on the ball hit by Abreu? So Adam Kennedy, a double and 2 singles. Dodgers at first and third, 1 away. And here's Loney, who doubled to right center and single to left. That was fouled at the plate. 0-1. No one throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Dodgers have 9 hits in 4 1/3 innings. Had it not been for Green in this inning, they've had 10 hits. Lance Lynn out of Brownsburg, Indiana, and the University of Mississippi. And that's whack foul. 0-2. Lance Lynn taking a little walk on the grass out there to try and collect himself. He retired the side in order in the first inning, but the Dodgers have been all over him ever since. 0-2 to Loney. Ethier at third, Kennedy at first, 1 out. Check, and he swung. So Loney strikes out, trying to hold up. That would only be the second strikeout for Lance Lynn. In looking at his numbers coming in, as we told you, it was pretty impressive. In 44 innings, he had struck out 44 and walked only 14. But he certainly has not looked like those numbers so far in pitching to the Dodgers tonight. So 2 down, and here's Ellis. Single to left to drive in a run, and then grounded into a double play with the bases loaded in the third. Off speed for a strike, 0-1. Ellis looking down to Tim Wallach. Wallach standing behind Ethier, not anywhere near the coaching box. Kennedy over at first, 0-1. Fastball, that's clocked at 90. That's about as hard as we've seen him throw. They say his fastball has been clocked as high as 98, but we haven't seen anything like that. 1-1 to A.J. Ellis. Little slider for a strike. 1-2. Two out, first and third for the Dodgers in a 4-4 tie. And fastball got him looking, and there's the good fastball. That was 94. So down goes A.J. 2 strikeouts in the inning, and we're tied at 4. His record was 8-0. He had 7 complete games, and he had 5 shutouts as well. Well, he went up against Philadelphia. He went 7 innings, gave up a home run to Mike Schmidt. The Dodgers were shut out. Philadelphia won the game 4-0, and Fernando finally lost a game. But boy, it never got better than then. Let's go back to this one. Ted Lilly starts off with a strike, 0-1. Ted has allowed 3 hits. The big one, that home run by Matt Holliday on the heels of Matt Carpenter's single, that gave the Cardinals for the moment a 4-3 lead. Then the Dodgers evened it up, and Holliday's on deck. Check swing. They're going to look. Swing, says Chad Fairchild. When Carpenter was up there in the third inning, there were a couple of check swings, and I think Don Mattingly just got so angry that the calls were going against him, and he was kicked out. Roundhouse curveball fouled off. That curveball took a while to get there, only 72 miles an hour. Ted made 73 pitches in the first 5 innings. Two and two. So Carpenter, Holliday, and Beltran. Big inning here for Ted Lilly. And if anybody gets on, David Freese. Fastball. Nice big hop. Mark throws him out. 1 away. Matt Holliday came up, having struck out in the first inning, and got the pitch he wanted with a man aboard, and that was it. Adios. Way back in the pavilion, and a nice catch out there by a Dodger fan who immediately fired it back on the field. Holliday, a remarkable athlete. He just looks like he should be a cover boy for an athletic magazine. He has the high cheekbones, the square jaw. He was, they said, the second best high school quarterback in the country. He's from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Could have played football and baseball for Oklahoma State, but he was signed by the Rockies instead. He's a chip off the old block. His dad played baseball at the University of Miami, was on Miami's first College World Series team. His brother Josh was a first baseman in the Blue Jays organization. Now he's a hitting coach at Georgia Tech. His grandfather, just to follow the lineage, his grandfather signed with the Yankees, but World War II ended Don Holliday's baseball career. He did play in the service, however, with Whitey Ford. 4-1. Tom Holliday, who was his coach in college, would have cookouts for the Cowboy baseball team. And two of the guests, Robin Ventura, now the manager of the White Sox, and Jeremy Burnitz, who had a big career. Just missed inside. 2-2. Handled with care, of course. Holliday won the batting championship 5 years ago for the Rockies. He's hit as many as 36 home runs and 137 ribbies. Ground ball plugged up by Ellis. 2 down. Take a look at the standings for the moment. Get an idea as the game revolves. Giants in San Francisco are leading the A's 6-1 in the 4th inning, so that puts a little heat on the Dodgers. Then you have Arizona, Colorado, and San Diego. 2 down on ground balls to Mark Ellis, and here's Carlos Beltran. And he promptly bangs it into center for a base hit. Great effort by D. Gordon. That'll bring up David Freese. You know, we told you that David Freese was the MVP in the LCS and the World Series, but I don't know if you are familiar with the story about the sofa. Yeah, the sofa. On the way to becoming the World Series MVP, Freese spent every home game night on a drab olive sofa in a tiny spare room of a college buddy St. Louis apartment. Line drive at Kennedy. Wow. That's an extra base hit. Instead, the third out. Beltran is left at first, and at the end at 5.5, a 4-4 tie. Back to that olive drab sofa. David Single, college buddy. Every night he slept on the sofa, really out of superstition. But as Freeze says, I can sleep anywhere. He's 6'2". So there he was sleeping on a sofa, and the only way he could sleep on it, he had to bend his legs. And yet, getting out of the sofa, shaking his legs, and he becomes the MVP in the World Series. Meanwhile, the Dodgers trying to shake their legs. Tony Gwynn, Ted Lilly, D. Gordon in a 4-4 tie. Fastball strike at 90. Tony tripled in the second inning and singled last time up in the fourth. Tony Gwynn has 4 doubles and 2 triples. Was so far the most memorable triple against Tim Lincecum with the bases loaded and that dreaded count, no balls and 2 strikes, with the outfield shading him to left field, and Tony hit it into the right field corner to score everybody and give the Dodgers the win. 1-2. Tomorrow night, Jake Westbrook and Clayton Kershaw. Remember, that's a 7:10 game. We have a couple of Saturday nights at 7:10, then we'll get back to the 6-ish starts. Still 1-2. Saturday the 26th with Houston is 7:10. And June 16th with the White Sox, 7:10. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tony Gwynn. Change off the plate, and Tony went after it, fouled it away. Probably looked like a basketball. He said something like, "I knew it was out," meaning outside. 1-2 the count. Now let's see the location after that pitch way outside. Down and dirty. 2-2. Lance Lynn with a record of 6-1, 5-0 on the road. Dodgers lost a run in the 5th inning when the leadoff hitter Abreu was robbed of a hit by Tyler Green, because then there was a walk and a base hit. And then in the 6th inning, the Cardinals lost a possible run. A 2-out single by Carlos Beltran, and Freese hit a bullet, but right at Adam Kennedy. Good play by Adams, also having a big night with the bat, never mind the glove. Adam Kennedy 3 for 3. Foul back, still 2-2. Each pitcher had made 87 pitches. The difference, Lilly made him in 6 innings. Lynn made him in 5 innings. He has retired the side in order only in the 1st inning. 2-2. Got him at the knees. He knew it. Fastball. And that was as hard as he has thrown tonight. According to the gun, that pitch was 96. Here's the calendar. The Cardinals are here. The Dodgers will go over to Arizona for 3 and then come back with Houston and Milwaukee. Then they'll go out on the road, Colorado, Philadelphia, and Seattle. When they come home, they'll play the Angels. And that thing hit him on the foot, and he was also charged with a swing. 0-1 to count to Ted Lilly. He's not going to argue, but here's the swing. And it got him a glancing blow on the left foot. Yeah, that's right. If you swing at the pitch and you get hit, it's a strike. 0-1 to Ted. By the way, Lynn now has struck out 3 in a row. Loney and Ellis to end the 5th. Gwynn to start the 6th. When the Cardinals come up in the 7th, they'll have Yadier Molina, Tyler Green, Shane Robinson, and Lynn due to bat 4th. Fastball hit down the line, foul. Big guy seems to be thrown a little bit harder now. That was 94. And the big pitch was the one he made to Tony Gwynn. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Light breeze blowing as usual from left to right. Missed with the fastball. 2-2. Ted Lilly 5-0. Gordon on deck. Lilly with an 8-game winning streak going back to last year. See you later. That was in there at 95. So all of a sudden, Lynn is throwing hard, and he has struck out 4 in a row. He now has 5 strikeouts. For the first 4 innings, he only had 1 strikeout. It was Ted Lilly. And then in the 5th inning, Loney and A.J. Ellis, now Gwynn and Lilly. So here's D. Gordon, grounded out, twice fouled out, 0 for 3, trying to fight and stay above 200. Ball 1. Little roller. Carpenter can just walk into the bag, so D goes 0 for 4. Dodgers go down in order. 5 in a row retired by Lynn, and it's still 4-4. And for Lance Lynn, after making 103 pitches, he's even. He is throwing a little bit harder. He's retired the last 5 in a row. Meanwhile, Ted Lilly ready to work the 7th. Molina, Green, and Robinson. Yadier Molina is 0 for 2. He is pretty much of a contact hitter. He's never been someone who strikes out a lot. And he's holding up true this year. He's only struck out 12 times. Foul back. Last year, he had over 500 plate appearances, and he struck out 44 times. Pretty much the way he is. One year, he struck out only 29 times. One ball and one strike. Mark Zepchinski begins to throw, left-hander in the Cardinal bullpen. 1-1. Fastball lifted shallow center. Gwynn really waiting on it before committing. 1 away. And the batter now will be Tyler Green. Green, who made that fine diving stop of the ball hit by Abreu, taking a base hit away, and that was important because you remember Ethier followed with the walk and Kennedy then singled to right, but the Dodgers came up empty. Green from Plantation, Florida, and hooks it down the line foul. 0-1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ronald Belisario begins to loosen up. .91 pitches made by Lilly. Big curveball off the glove of Kennedy, backed up by Gordon, who drops it. The Green is safely aboard. So we'll wait on the scoring. Just off his glove, backhand and drop. Probably an error charge, and that's what it is, E5. So Green at first and Shane Robinson the batter. Green in the minors stole as many as 31 bases. Robinson, as we mentioned, a very good bunter. Tyler Green has stolen 4 out of 5, so they might have something going here. Fastball hit late. 0-1. Shane checking with third base coach Jose Oquendo. Remember, coming in, the Cardinals were 8-2 against left-hand starters, and they were 6-0 against left-handers on the road. Oh, 0-1. Skip Schumacher coming out of the dugout. So it looks like he'll be hitting for Lance Lynn. All eyes on Tyler Green. No balls and 1 strike. Big slow curveball. 0-2. That thing took a while to get up there. It was clocked at 72. 4-4, 7th inning. First of 11 meetings this year between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. That's a lot of games out of the division. Lilly's pitch count now is up to 94. Ted's last game, he made 100 pitches. Fastball hit late, foul. Fastball at 88. Against Colorado, Ted went 6 1/3, 103 pitches. Before that, his high was way back in April '94, so he's getting close at 95. So Belisario was throwing in the bullpen. Still 0-2 to Shane Robinson. Ground ball to short. Gordon shovels. Ellis is upended on a hard but thoroughly legitimate slide by Tyler Green, and Ellis is shaken up. If you're an outfielder and you slide hard at second base, there might be somebody saying, oh, great. But Tyler Green, he's a second baseman, and he came in there as legitimate as can be, and it's just one of those things. Came right in at the ankles, and Ellis was flipped. Never did get rid of the ball. A brutal position. One second baseman upending the other. The knees locked. The left knee of each man, and I think that's the big concern as Ellis goes down. So Mark Ellis, Tyler Green, of course, feels, well, I did my job. I broke up the double play, but there's a lot of regrets attached to it. So the left knee was hit by Green's left knee, and let's see. Now a big grin on Mark Ellis' face. And I'm sure Tyler is hoping that all is well, and apparently it is. Trey Hillman wants to make sure his second baseman is okay, that he has plenty of lateral movement. And Trey is convinced. Okay, force play, and Skip Schumacher will be coming up. Take another look. Left knee against left knee, and of course it was almost hyperextended. I guess that was their fear.
For the Cardinals, pinch hitting, number 55, Skip Schumacher.
Skip Schumacher is a local boy coming up. He's from Torrance. Skip lives in Laguna Niguel, went to UC Santa Barbara, and then transferred actually from Loyola Marymount to UC Santa Barbara. Yeah, Skip about hard work, and he said, let me tell you about my dad. My dad would leave for work at 5 a.m. and get home at 7 p.m. His mom, a teacher's aide with autistic children. And they are keeping an eye on Shane Robinson. We told you that Shane runs well. 1 for 1 in stolen bases. Pitchers checking Lily's move as he throws that right shoulder out towards center field before pitching. And that's ball 1. Tony La Russa talking about Skip Schumacher said he's one of those guys who gets overlooked, but if you closely examine, he's always been associated with winners. He helped Team USA win the Olympic qualifying tournament, beating Cuba. That's a strike. 1-1. By the way, Skip, as you can imagine, is not his real name. His real name is Jared. But as he said, I haven't been called Jared since I was 5 years old. Robinson at first, 2 outs, 7th inning in a 4-4 tie. Skip Schumacher batting for Lance Lynn. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom half, Ellis, Abreu, and Ethier. One and 1. Sliced foul out of play. 1-2. When Schumacher was in college, every now and then he'd pitch a little bit And they said he was clocked anywhere from 92 to 94. 2 years ago, he decided to really toughen up, and he worked out with a member of the SWAT team here in Los Angeles, Jim Moss. Skip is 5'10", about 190. And almost got hit. 2-2. And boy, Lilly really put a move. The runner, Robinson, was going back to the bag. Ted can really twist that upper torso. That right shoulder swings, and you're not quite sure whether he's going to the plate or coming over. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And a big slow curveball, and down goes Schumacher, batting full in. And at the end of 6.5 innings, we have a 4-4 tie. We'll now have God Bless America and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The 7th inning, and it's been some RBIs tonight. James Loney hits a double for the Dodgers to cash in Kennedy. Then you have A.J. Ellis, a base hit to cash in Loney. And then you had Tony Gwynn in that same inning come up and hit a triple down the line, and that scored A.J. Ellis. All in the 3rd inning. And finally, Adam Kennedy came up with a base hit to pick up a ribby. And in the 7th inning, 1 ball and no strikes to Mark Ellis. In looking at his name, it poses a problem because it begins with an R. The 1-0 pitch fouled away. But Mark Zepchinski, you just do not pronounce the R. In fact, I guess it's pretty impossible. Zepchinski, 6'1", 206-pounder out of Oak Lawn, Illinois. There's a line drive, a diving catch at first base by Matt Carpenter. So Mark Ellis fortunately survived the collision at second base and then lines out to first. 1 out in the 7th. Bobby Abreu flied to left, walked, lost a base hit on a diving stop by Tyler Green. Ted Lilly has made 101 pitches, though you start to wonder about whether he will answer the bell for the 8th inning, because Josh Lindblom now gets up in the pen. But Ted hasn't put the windbreaker on as he talks to Clayton Kershaw, so we'll see. 4-4, bottom of the 7th. 1 ball and no strikes. Mark was involved in a 7-player trade with the Toronto Blue Jays last year. They call him Zep, understandably, and that's over his glove. But moving to his left and then making the off throw is Rafael Furcal. So it looked like Rafael was going to take a base hit away from Abreu, but he failed. For Furcal, that would be his 4th error. And the Dodgers now have Ethier coming up and hold everything. They're going to give a base hit on that. All right. Bobby is thrilled. He goes 1 for 3. Dodgers now have 10 hits. 9 against the starter, Lance Lynn. Andre Ethier fly deep to center, flied to right, was walked on 4 pitches in the 5th inning. He grounds 1 to second. Green feeding for Paul, who probably throws it into the Cardinal dugout. Whoa. So Rafael got away with 1 high throw that was ruled a base hit. And on the fielder's choice and the error, take another look. 1, and then look out. Not even close to Matt Carpenter. So we'll see just how important that is. Adam Kennedy coming up. By the way, Furcal will be leading off the 8th inning. 4-4 in the 7th. Kennedy's had a big night, a double and 2 singles. And ball 1. Want to know to Adam. Ground foul. Four runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Dodgers. 4 runs, 4 hits for the Cardinals. A.J. Ellis has contributed. And certainly Matt Holliday with that 2-run home run. 1-1 off the plate. Mark Zepchinski was born in Yorba Linda and went to school at UC Riverside. Zepchinski is 6'2", 26. He'll be 27 the end of August. Ball 3 on deck, James Loney. He was signed out of the University of California at Riverside by the Blue Jays in the 5th round. Basically, the fastball, power curveball, slider, and a changeup. Basically, I guess you'd call him a sinker baller. That's a strike. 3-2. Zepsinski came up to the Blue Jays 2 years ago and again last year, and then came over to the Cardinals late last year. He was 0-3, however. 3-2. And inside for ball 4. So the inning should be over, but Furcal couldn't do it. And now Zepchenski working on Loney, who has doubled and singled and struck out. Loney against left-handers, as we have mentioned, has not been the hitter that has produced so well against right-handers. James hitting 135 against left-handers and about 280 against right-handers. And that's ball 1. Loney a double, a single, and struck out. That was that stretch where Lance Lynn struck out 4 in a row. Loney, Ellis, Gwynn, and Lilly. 1 ball, no strikes. Fastball for a strike at the knees. Ethier at second, Kennedy at first, 2 out. 4-4, bottom of the 7th. Fastball and a flare into shallow left, base hit. Here comes Ethier, and the Dodgers take a 5-4 lead. So the error by Rafael Furcal is cashed in. So Loney just hits it inside out. Little flare the other way. No way Furcal could catch it, nor could Matt Holliday. So for Loney, he comes up with 3 hits. So you have Kennedy and Loney with 6 hits between them. And Ethier brings in the go-ahead run. And now here's A.J. Ellis. Single to left, hit into a double play, and struck out. His base hit picked up an RBI back in the 2nd inning. Good sinker, 0-1. Victor Marte begins to throw now in the Cardinal bullpen. Big right-hander. Furcal, Matt Carpenter, and Matt Holliday due up in the 8th inning. 0-1. 0-2. So the Dodgers scored 3 in the 2nd inning. The Cardinals came back with 4. The Dodgers came back with 1 in the bottom of the 3rd to tie it up. And we've been locked that way until Loney's single has just cashed in Ethier, and the Dodgers take the lead. (0-2) to A.J. Ellis. Big chopper to Furcal. On the run, throws accurately for the final out. The run is earned. Dodgers will take it even if it was unearned, and they lead 5-4. meeting of what will be 11 between these two teams. Jake Westbrook 4-2 with a fine ERA. And it'll be Clayton Kershaw 3-1 with an even better earned run average and an even tougher opponent batting average at 193. So Kershaw and Westbrook tomorrow night. Hope you be out here with us. And don't forget the Fan Fest that starts at noon. Josh Lundblom is brought in now to pick up for Ted Lilly. So Lilly goes out leading 5-4 and a chance to win. Zepchinski made 17 pitches in working that 7th inning. And the man who put him in a hole will lead it off, Rafael Furcal. Because Mark Ellis, I guess, was banged up, Justin Sellers takes over, and you can only hope that Ellis' knee is not seriously injured. Big, slow breaking ball for a strike to Rafael, who was grounded to short, had a sacrifice fly, and grounded to short again. Threat to bunt left-handed. 1-1. How many times we saw him run up and push the ball toward short. Kennedy's even with the bag, but D. Gordon is deep. And ball 2-1. Rafael at 5'9", but a very solid package at about 190. And ball 3. Josh Lindblom coming in. He has done some great work. 1-0, ERA 2.3. And a high strike, 3-2. Lindblom has walked 6 while striking out 16. One thing that has bothered him, he's given up 3 home runs. 3-2. Got him. So Furcal goes 0 for 3, and a huge error that has provided the difference in the game. Be sure to head to Dodger Stadium Tuesday, May 29th for the infield bobblehead. Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, Bill Russell, and Ron Say together again, presented by State Farm. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 8.5 years, and they're together one more time. Ball 1 to Matt Carpenter, who of course is in a very dangerous and important spot with Matt Holliday hitting back of him. That's a strike, 1-1. The paid attendance tonight, 40,906. 40,906. That's another strike. 1-2 to Carpenter. Popped up, singled, and then Holliday homered, and last time up grounded out. Down in the Dodger pen, Belisario and Elbert. Just off the plate. 2-2. Big Josh at 6'5" and 240. The Boilermaker from Purdue. Pretty good fastball at 94 and down. Lindblom was originally drafted by the Astros. Turned him down. Went 1 year to the University of Tennessee and then 2 years at Purdue. Fouled away. Basically, fastball, curveball, slider. Two-seamer has a lot of sink to it. 2 years ago, he came up with a cutter, and he also has a straight change. 2-2. Josh Lindblom. Ball 3. Dodger pitching tonight. Lilly did not walk anybody, and Lindblom, trying to follow that pattern, goes 3-2. And another foul ball. Matt Carpenter 1 for 3, but the base hit was important. Holiday followed with the home run. For the moment, that gave the Cardinals a 4-3 lead. And ball 4. Well, here comes Holiday again. Matt struck out in the first inning, hit that big home run in the third with a man aboard and grounded out. Considering that lifetime .350 batting average, probably the most feared hitter in the Cardinal lineup. When Clint Hurdle managed Colorado, Matt got the nickname Big Daddy. Foul back, 0-1. Holiday left Colorado and went to the A's for closer Houston Street. And then the Cardinals sent some players and acquired Holiday. Matt, by the way, 2 years ago signed a 7-year deal with the Cardinals. Basically a 4-tool player. The only thing Matt Holiday lacks really is speed. Although, if you look it up, 4 years ago, he surprised everybody and stole 28 bases. 0-1. Foul back, 0-2. Remember all the check swings when Matt Carpenter was up in the third inning, and enough check swings where Don Mattingly lost his cool and was kicked out of the game? Matt Carpenter getting that walk, that was a 9-pitch at bat. In his 4 plate appearances tonight, he has seen 27 pitches. I mean, that's really a patient number 2 hitter. Matt Carpenter. He's also made a nice diving catch. Matt out of Texas. 0-2. Got him. So a big sigh of relief as Holiday strikes out. Second strikeout for Josh Lindblom. And the batter now, the equally dangerous Carlos Beltran. Beltran lined out to third, grounded to third, and singled, hitting .294. And a strike. Beltran playing on a bad knee. Carlos has 13 home runs. Fouled away. In fact, he's the first in the league. He has the highest rate of home runs to plate appearances. So far, he's hit a home run every, 9% of the time. 13 home runs, 32 RBIs. No balls and 2 strikes. And ball 1. Beltran has hit as many as 41 home runs in his career. Did that with the Mets. Had as many as 116 runs batted in. Beltran is the fellow who bought a monkey. He wanted to have a monkey because when he was a kid, a neighbor had a monkey. So he bought it, named it Michaela, and then found out that a monkey lives about 45 years. He thought, I have to take care of this monkey for 45 years. So he got the monkey off his back. It's gone. Michaela is no longer. He's also a very good pal, professional golfer, Chichi Rodriguez. And Rodriguez says that Beltran is a natural golfer. 2-2. Fouled away. Dodgers led 3-0. Cardinals led 4-3. At the end of 3 innings, it was tied 4-4. Dodgers got a break on a throwing error by Furcal, and they now lead 5-4 in the 8th inning. Scott Elbert has stopped. Belisario is joined by Kenley Jansen in the Dodger pen. 2-2 to Beltran. Carpenter at first, 2 out. 2-2 the count. Line foul, off speed pitch, and he was way out in front, turned on it. Didn't see him do it tonight, but Beltran always, when he gets in the box, draws a J in the back of the box. Initial of his wife's name. 2-2. Fastball whacked into left for a base hit. Rounding but holding is Carpenter at second. So Beltran goes 2 for 4. And the batter will be the boy on the sofa, David Freese. David flied to right and struck out, and in the 6th inning, he almost took the hands off Adam Kennedy. Adrian Chambers will run for Beltran. You know, Carlos playing on a bad right knee. So Chambers will run for him. Davey Lopes gesturing to Dodgers. So here's David, 0 for 3, but boy, did he crush that ball in the 6th inning. Hitting .274. And a strike. Freese with 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. For Lindblom, been a tough inning. This will be his 27th pitch. One ball and 1 strike. So the pitch is piling up here. 2 on, 2 out, 5-4 Dodgers. 8th inning. He was late on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and they count 1-2. So the tying run, Matt Carpenter at second. Chambers over at first. 2 out and a 1-2 count. Laid off a high fastball that was 95, but out of the zone. Josh is laboring now. 30 pitches in the inning. 2 strikeouts, a walk, and a single. Well, now that's what he didn't want. He goes all the way, which means the runners will be on the move. It's a little edge for the Cardinals here, especially since they're behind. So Carpenter ready to go from second. Chambers ready to go from first on a full count to Freese with Yadier Molina on deck. Runners go. Swung on and missed. Wow. David Freese strikes out a second time. Josh Lindblom winds up striking out the side. Breaking ball got him. No runs, a hit, 2 left. And at the end of 7.5, 5-4 Dodgers. and Loney. They are 6 for 7 between them with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Then you pick up with A.J. Ellis and Tony Gwynn. Mark Ellis had to leave the game after that collision at second base. D. Gordon struggling. Ethier scored a run tonight. Chambers, who ran for Beltran, stays in the game in right field. And Victor Marte from the Dominican Republic coming in. He is a big man. He is 6'2" and about 265 pounds. Originally signed as a free agent by the Royals out of Japan. He spent 3 years pitching over there with the Hiroshima Carp. Then he came to the Royals and eventually winds up with the Cardinals. Basically, 2-seam fastball, slider, curve, and a changeup. Known to be, as they say, effectively wild. And there's a fly ball, 1 away. So Robinson puts it away. Be sure to subscribe to MLB.TV today. See every Dodger out of market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. So Gwynn didn't hang around, first ball swinging, and now Justin Sellers finishing up at second base. And ball 1. Justin hitting 133. He can play just about anywhere on the infield. We've seen him play third, short, and now finishing at second. 1-0. Fastball lifted, a trio of Cardinals making a little nest out there. And there's a mix-up. Chambers and Robinson, and into second base goes Sellers. That's what happens when you bring a guy in late in the game. Robinson should have been in charge. I mean, he's the center fielder, he's the captain, and Chambers came over. Take another look. Any one of 3 could have caught it, but it's Robinson's ball. And then, whoops, and you can see the look on Robinson's face. Oh, no. The Chambers should have let the center fielder be the captain. And the Dodgers get a huge gift. Now it turns into a double. Sellers, of course, has to be thrilled. Marte has to be ticked off, and you have 1 out. And D. Gordon. Gordon has not been on base. He is 0 for 4. Ethier is 0 for 3, but he did walk and score. Scott Van Slyke is coming out of the Dodger dugout now. The bunt foul back, 0-1. Remember, Lindblom came into the game with Sellers. Lindblom was in Mark Ellis' spot. And Van Slyke will bat for him. So for Josh, he had to work hard there in the 8th inning, but he wound up striking out the side. Cardinals pull up the corners just in case D tries to bunt again. Slow breaking ball for a strike. Justin Sellers with a gift double at second base. It's been Lynn, Zepchinski, and Marte. Still 0-2. Gordon battling to stay above the 200 mark. The Mendoza line. Mario Mendoza, a shortstop with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And down he goes. So it's been a tough night for Gordon. He goes 0 for 5. Did not hit the ball out of the infield. And the batter now will be Van Slyke, batting for Lindblom.
Scott Van Slyke.
Scott Van Slyke hitting .286. Scotty with 3 RBIs. When the 9th inning arrives, the Cardinals will have Yadier Molina, Tyler Green, and Shane Robinson, unless they go to the bench. That's a foul ball. Alan Craig would normally perhaps be a #1 pinch hitter, but Craig is out with a hamstring. Shane Robinson had the most pinch hits, or at least at bats as a pinch hitter, but he started tonight. So they have Lance Berkman, Daniel Descalso, and Tony Cruz. And Berkman, of course, the big left-hand hitter, probably go up against Kenley Jansen. Scotty way out in front of the off-speed pitch in the count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th. Side should be retired, but Sellers is out there with the gift double. And down he goes on the slider. So Van Slyke goes down. 2 strikeouts for Marte. And we're heading for the 9th inning. 5-4 Dodgers. And right now, the key base hit in the game occurred in the 7th inning with 2 on because of a bad throw from Rafael Furcal. Loney drops a little flare into left field. Scoring is Andre Ethier. That gives the Dodgers their 5-4 lead, and they take it into the 9th inning. Van Slyke, who just batted for Lindblom, will go into left field. And Kenley Jansen will go in Bobby Abreu's spot and try to close it up. So Lilly went 7. Lindblom pitched the 8th. And now here's Kenley. Yadier Molina, who is 0 for 3, will start it off. Molina with 20 RBIs, so he has increased his production from last year up about 12%. Popped up, grounded to third, fly to center, 0 for 3. Foul back. nice catch in the lower deck, and you get the roar from the crowd. 0-1 to Molina. Waiting on deck, Tyler Green. And you can see Lance Berkman. He's going to bat apparently for Shane Robinson. That's a strike. Well, Molina with the count 0-2. The opposition facing Kenley Jansen is hitting 134. In 19 innings, he has struck out 30. 0-2. 31. And that fastball at 95 was just about over Molina's head, and he's so angry at himself that he went after it. Take a look. Up there. So Molina strikes out. Remember, Lindblom struck out the side in the 8th inning. Now the batter is Tyler Green. A frustrated Molina goes back, and Lance Berkman is on deck. Tyler Green singled, struck out, reached on an error. The difference in the game right now is the error by Rafael Furcal back in the 7th inning. That error allowed, first of all, the Dodgers to dodge a double play. It allowed Ethier to get to second base, and Loney's pop fly single picked him up. Whoa, Jansen is throwing BBs. If you want to compare the two teams, the Cardinals with runners in scoring position 1-for-3. The Dodgers with runners in scoring position 6-for-17. 0-2 to Green. See you later. So that means the last inning and 2/3, the Dodgers have racked up 5 strikeouts. Lindblom got Furcal, Holiday, and Freeze, and now Jansen gets Molina and Green. And here is Lance Berkman batting for Robinson. With a big, good-natured guy out of Texas, as a pinch hitter, has not been effective. Hitting .325, however, when he starts the game. Switch hitter. And a strike. Berkman, originally a first-round pick by the Astros. Played briefly for the Yankees and last year with the Cardinals. And a high fly ball into deep center. Back to the wall goes Green. Would you believe a home run by Lance Berkman to tie up the game? For Berkman, his first home run of the year. And for Kenley Jansen, hit with a bolt of lightning, the 3rd home run that he has allowed. Rafael Furcal feeling a lot better about things. That fastball was away, and he was able to be strong enough to turn on it and hit it into the center field pavilion. And I mean, he got it in there. Gwynn hanging on the fence. So now Daniel Descalso, left-hand batter, is up there and hitting for Marte. Pinch hit home run by Lance Berkman. Looked like a fastball that might have caught the outside of the plate. It might even have been outside. And yet Berkman somehow, that strong at 6'1" and 220. Of course, he hit as many as 45 home runs for the Astros. So for Berkman hits one, it's really no surprise. And a strike, 1-2. Take a look at the pitch. See where it is. Out there. Yeah, thought so. And he just turns and hits it a country mile. Well, another strikeout. So the last 6 outs have been strikeouts, but they're all wiped out by Lance Berkman. And we're heading to the bottom of the 9th in a 5-5 tie. If you are wondering, the last pinch hit home run that Lance Berkman had, his only other pinch hit home run, was struck in 2001. And against Kenley Jansen tonight. Elian Herrera will now bat for the Dodgers in Jansen's spot. And Salas is now the pitcher, Fernando Salas. Matt Carpenter, who was the first baseman, is now in right field. Chambers, who was in right, is now in center. And Berkman is at first base. Salas from Sonora, Mexico, signed by the Cardinals out of the Mexican League. Fastball, slider, and change. Herrera made his first start in San Diego. Runs very well. Switch hitter. And 1 for 5. 2-2. So the Dodgers led 3-0. The Cardinals led 4-3. The Dodgers tied at 4-4. Dodgers got a big break on Furcal's throwing error to lead 5-4. And Berkman off the bench to hit a pinch hit home run and tie it up. 3-2 to Herrera. Salas, 6'2", 200-pounder. He will be 27 on the 30th, and Ethier waits on deck. Fouled away. Elian Herrera batting 200 in the bottom of the 9th. Now back. Salas, at least in the minor leagues, had the reputation of giving up a lot of home runs. Coming out of the Mexican League, he finally made it to the Cardinals 2 years ago. And last year, he was in 68 games. And he walks around. So the Dodgers now have themselves a winning run aboard. And Andre Ethier coming up.
Andre Ethier.
Andre Ethier fly deep to center, fly to right, walk, hit into a force play that might have been a double play, and Furcal threw the ball away so that Andre was at second instead of the inning over, and Loney's fly ball single to left scored him, which at the time was a go-ahead run. Breaking ball strike, 0-1. Little slider. 40,906. Seeing a dandy here. Herrera held on by Berkman. One ball and one strike. Outfield almost straight away, except for Chambers in center field. He's shading him towards left center a little bit. 1-1. Might have chased a bad ball. We were talking about that at the very start of the game. The one thing that Ethier has to do is getting cheers from Matt Kemp. But the big thing is for Andre not to try to do everything all by himself. 1-2. Two and two. Fernando Salas from Huatabampo in Sonora. And a good sinker takes care of Ethier. That's the first out.
Third baseman number 3, Adam Kennedy.
Adam Kennedy has had a huge night. Ethier coming up empty, chasing a bad ball. And of course, that's the thing. He probably feels I've got to do a lot more than normal. Adam Kennedy, double to right center, single to right again, and walk. And a strike. So Kennedy 3 for 3 with a walk. They scored one and knocked one in. And played very, very well at third base. The Cardinals in one-run games have not done well. In fact, they're 0-4 on the road in one-run games. The Dodgers in one-run games at home have won 7 out of 9. Oh, and 1 as Matt Kemp and Bobby Abreu have a little chat, and Adam Kennedy waits at the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Just did hold up. 1-1 the count. Tomorrow night, Jake Westbrook and Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw 3-1. Westbrook 4-2. Yadier Molina handling 4 pitchers tonight. Pulled foul, 1-2. Cardinal pitchers Lynn, Zepchinski, Marte, and Salas. The Dodgers Lilly, Lindblom, and Jansen. And the Dodgers have Herrera at first with 1 out. Off the plate, 2-2. So the Cardinals played an afternoon game in San Francisco and then came to Los Angeles to rest. Dodgers played a night game in San Diego and bust back early this morning. And here we are locked up 5-5 in the 9th. Two balls and 2 strikes to Kennedy. And there's a shot into right field, his 4th hit, and Herrera flies into 3rd. Adam Kennedy having some kind of a night. A walk, 3 singles, and a double.
First baseman number 7, James Loney.
So Salas in a lot of trouble. Loney up there trying to pick up the winning run, just 90 feet away with 1 out. Rafael Furcal will come to the mound, and Mike Matheny will go out to the mound. So Salas in a mess. Walked Herrera, struck out Ethier, and Kennedy with that golden bat tonight comes up with his 4th hit. Wow. First 4-hit game for him in a couple of years. Yadier Molina trying to help out Salas. Matheny has talked to his infield especially. Justin Sellers and company rooting for the winning run. Loney is 3 for 4. So between Kennedy and Loney, you have 7 hits and 8 at-bats, plus a walk. Loney doubled in Kennedy and singled in Ethier for his 2nd run batted in of the night. Not much they can do but walking to load the bases for A.J. Ellis. So in a moment, the Dodgers will have the bases loaded with 1 out, and A.J. Ellis single to left in the 2nd inning. Came up with the bases loaded in the 3rd and hit into a double play. A.J. came up with 1st and 3rd in the 5th inning and struck out, and he came up with runners at 1st and 2nd in the 7th inning and grounded out. So this has been the toughest game for A.J. Ellis this year. Lance Berkman had the hero's mantle across his shoulders for the moment, and the Dodgers now trying to take it away from him.
Number 17, A.J.
Interesting on the scoreboard, psychologically, they put a run up in the bottom of the 9th inning. So on the scoreboard, it looks like the Dodgers have won the game 6-5. Well, we'll see. Yeah, there you go. Somebody's in a hurry. But it'll be up to A.J. Ellis. Bases loaded, 1 out. Tony Gwynn on deck. And ball 1. By the way, A.J. Ellis, with runners in scoring position this year, is hitting .379. And he has Herrera 90 feet away to wrap it up. Kennedy is at 2nd and Loney at 1st. Salas has given up 2 walks and a base hit. The infield back in double play depth. Off the plate as he showed bunt. 2-0. Ellis takes a long walk to look at Tim Wallach. Wallach has Herrera under his wing over there at third base. 2 balls and no strikes, so all the pressure really is on Fernando Salas. And ball 3. So Matt Kemp, along with D. Gordon, trying to lead the cheers to get the winning run home. 40,906. Having some fun, and Mike Matheny dying a little bit in the Cardinal dugout. And ball 4. Herrera comes in, and the Dodgers win it, and sure enough, the scoreboard was right. 6 runs, 13 hits for the Dodgers, and 2 errors for the Cardinals. 5 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Dodgers get well at home. They have now won 17 of 21 at Dodger Stadium. Easy, Matt Kemp. Don't hurt him. So A.J. Ellis gets the walk, gets the winning RBI. Take another look at it. No doubt about it. And Salas gives it up in the 9th inning after Lance Berkman had that dramatic pinch hit home run in the top of the 9th. So tomorrow night, Jake Westbrook and Clayton Kershaw and a happy Dodger ball club with a record of 26 victories and 13 defeats, 17 of 21 at home. They have now had the best record in baseball and at home. I'm not sure what the Giants did tonight, but the Dodgers know that they can't lose any ground to them. A reminder, tomorrow it'll be on KCAL 9. Till then, we wish you all a very pleasant good evening.